So, Ian Rapoport went on NFL Network yesterday and talked about Joe Burrow and Joe Burrow's comments on the podcast. And here's what he had to say. I want to go ahead and react to his opinion on everything.
Sounds like he's doing absolutely fine from the wrist surgery. Kind of did a on-again, off-again thing during mandatory minicamp and during the OTAs, but really just to make sure that it didn't go too hard. I haven't talked to anyone who believes there's going to be any issue going forward with his wrist. But we've seen and heard a lot of Joe Burrow this offseason, whether in Vogue, which actually is a thing. Of course, he walked in some fashion shows along with his old college teammate Justin Jefferson. We've seen plenty of interviews like the Barstool one and some others, but he is seeming to me striking the right chord here. Joe Burrow is awesome. Okay, I mean, we've seen him do almost everything. We've seen him get all the way to the Super Bowl. We've seen him perform in clutch moments. We've seen him emerge to being one of the very, very best in the NFL. But he knows to be the best, to be considered among all of the excellent quarterbacks who take their teams deep into the playoffs year after year, he has to be there. He has to be healthy. It is clear from listening just to Burrow's words that not only is he, as you mentioned, set out to remind us of how good he is, but he understands that availability is like the biggest thing. And I would hope for his sake, for his team's sake, for everything, that we see a little more of a cautious Joe Burrow just to make sure he stays on the field.
All right, starting off right away, I do not believe in any way on the field wise Joe Burrow is going to be any more cautious than he already is. I don't think he will be. Now, to Ian's point, in the offseason, taking days off, not overworking yourself, playing smart, yeah, I think he'll continue to do that. And, you know, this is why when Joe first said that first time he's going to throw the ball again was in early April, I was like myself, like, are you sure about this? Like, what are we doing here? Like, let's not push ourselves back too quickly. But again, at the end of the day, Joe is Joe. And I know it's ironic to say, but on the field, to that point, Joe has said it himself. He doesn't feel like he's truly playing football until he takes the first hit. He wants to get smashed. He wants to get hit. He wants to, he's a tough, gritty quarterback. So on the field, I don't think he's going to change how he plays, even about, the idea of him being healthy or not. Because again, you got to keep in mind the two times he did go down with injury. The first year was an ACL tear, which was because we had the worst offensive line in football, and Joe was getting sacked left and right. And then last year was a freak incident that has never happened to a quarterback in the history of football. And yeah, he did obviously have the wrist tear, but that has nothing to do with him, in quote, being careful or not careful. I mean, any quarterback in that same situation would have had that same injury. So I think off the field, and again, during the offseason, yeah, I mean, Joe's going to be careful and safe and not do anything crazy. He's actually playing piano to help his wrist injury, which is awesome. But he's been very vocal this offseason. And I think that's, with him saying he wants to open up the fans and kind of get more parts of his life out there, I think that's what we're kind of seeing with Joe. And it's going to be interesting, but I don't think he's going to be any different on the field. I really don't. I mean, we saw last year when he had the calf injury, the first 4 weeks of the season, it was clear as day that they told him, hey, man, if you feel any kind of pressure, just throw the ball away. Just hike it, throw it away if you're under pressure in any way. Don't take a sack. Don't risk getting hit because, again, his calf strain. And I think that, in a way, if you look at how Joe looked throughout those first 4 games, he looked miserable. And I don't think it was the calf strain 100% that was destroying him. I think it was also his way of football. Joe, he likes to be mobile. He likes to get out there. He likes to run for a first down, get hit, but get the first down. He's a winner. He's a competitor. That's just how he is. So I will say, again, like I said, going into the season, I think we're going to see the same Joe Burrow we saw last season and we've always seen. But for the offseason, I think he is learning, as Ian said here, about, let's kind of have an offseason where we're actually healthy and let's not have problems in the offseason. But once we get to the regular season, week 1, even against the Patriots, I would not be surprised if the first drive of the game, Joe was running it for 10, 15 yards. And he takes off running. And there's a running lane, so he just, makes a cut, makes the move, and he does something special. Like, that's Joe Burrow. You can't take Joe, you can't take the gritty, competitor, winning spirit out of Joe. Even if, again, people overhyped 2 injuries he's had in his career. But it is what it is at the end of the day. I'm not taking shots in any way at Ian Rapoport. I agree. I think, he is absolutely correct. But as Joe said, people forget when you're hurt. He'll give the people something to talk about. They forget about you when you're hurt. So let's get ready, guys. Hoo-day!